Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Racha, Kwadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan Ban Yasharal of the Lions Den Camp, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. Also, salutations to the sincere Akim, preaching his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm in the car, Harab Ban Yasharala, coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. Not today. I'm coming out with a lesson, and it is I would say an addition to the previous lesson that I did. That was somewhat of a lamback off the elder video of this camp about the guy that left the comment. Um, the that guy that's trying to play whatever that position he was trying to play. And I was thinking about it for a couple of days. And, some more scriptures came to me through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is Sirach chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. And the main part of this verse is to set your heart aright. I mean, you must focus on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. When you come to Yahweh Yahushai, you got to have it in your mind that you are going to stand on and for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And once you set your heart aright, put your mind on the Lord, you got to endure. I mean, you got to withstand. That's what constantly endure means, to withstand, to be steadfast. And don't make haste in a time of trouble. Like a troublesome situation come, don't make haste. But the main part of that verse is to, you set your heart right. When you come to the Lord, you have questions. You got to have sincere questions, and you got to be solid. The brother Athanyala, he did a lesson recently. Let your, your yay be yay and your nay nay. You either got to be for the Lord or not. It's just that simple. Like the Heavenly Father doesn't do the gray areas. He doesn't do the yeah but no's, but kind of sort of, but at the same time I still like, nah, the Lord, you have to set your mind to focus on Yahweh Hashem Shai. You have to be sure within yourself that you want to serve, that you're going to serve Yahweh Hashem Shai. Because if you come to the Lord playing with him, you come to the Lord pity patting, he's just going to correct you. It's just that simple. You're just going to get corrected. He's going to correct you, through one of his men, or several of his men, servants, prophets, apostles, to instruct you. So when it comes down to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you must set your heart to be on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You got to be fully persuaded in your mind. You got to be convinced that you're going to stand for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You can't come asking the gray area questions. You can't come with the weird energy, trying to be it's like you trying to be with it and not be with it, and you can't be like that with the Lord. You got to be steadfast. You gotta 10 toes down for the Lord, as the elder this camp like to say. You got to be 10 toes down for the Lord. Like I should. Let's continue. Let's see. This is verse 16. Verse 15. It says, they that fear the Lord will not disobey his word. They that love him will keep his ways. When you fear Yahweh Shai, you won't disobey his words. You won't doubt his words. You won't be confused. You won't and if you don't have any understanding, guess what you would do? If you truly believe in Yahweh Shai, you don't have any understanding, what you do, you would ask at the Lord's mouth, his prophets. You would ask a brother from the elders on down to help you get that understanding. But when you fear the Lord, you won't disobey his word. You won't try to play in an area that's not a solid area. You won't try to play those kind of things, or that kind of game or be in that kind of position. And it says, and they that love him will keep his ways. And when you truly love Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you're going to keep his ways. You know, no matter how far fetched it may sound or seem, when you believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you believe. When you truly believe, you believe. You know, there's some things if you think about it in the scriptures, for a lot of people, it's far fetched. They can't grasp it. They can't wrap their mind around it. Why? Because simply the Lord ain't choosing to wrap their mind around or be able to grasp the concept of what he means in his word. But when you really sit back and you think about it, like many Akim have said around the four corners of the earth, this is the Lord's movie. You know, he wrote the script as we have it. It's called the Bible. You know, some brothers have said that. Me, I'm like, it's a real life video game, minus being able to do all the video game things at the moment. And you know, sometimes when you play video games and you look at video games, sometimes the stuff you see, and if you really think about it, you be like, yo, that is kind of far fetched. You know, when you think about it. But the Lord is not conventional, and you know, for lack of a better term. You can't put him in a box. You can't bring him down to your level. You got to understand him. He already understand you. But again, back to verse 16. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing. So when you fear the Lord, you're going to seek which is well pleasing unto him. So like you, that was 16. I meant to say 15. They that fear the Lord won't disobey his words. And they that love him will keep his ways. When you love the Lord, you'll keep his ways. Verse 16. It says, they that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing. So when you fear the Lord, you're gonna seek what is pleasing unto him. You're not gonna try and play with him. You know, you're gonna seek what is pleasing unto the Lord. You're gonna do your best to follow the laws, the statutes, the commandments. Uh you're gonna do your best to obtain the wisdom that the Lord has for you. You're gonna do your best to understand the Lord. You're gonna do your best to be obedient. You're gonna do your best to make sure that you stay in graces, right graces with the Lord. So again, they that fear the Lord will seek that which is pleasing unto him. And it says, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. And when you love Yahweh Bashim Shah truthfully, you're going to be filled with the law. You're going to be filled with his instruction. You're going to be filled with the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom of what the Lord means and what he's talking about. And you're going to be filled with the understanding of what his will is. Verse 17. It says, they that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight. So when you fear the Lord, you're gonna prepare your heart, i.e., you're gonna prepare your mind. You're gonna get your mind right to be able to serve Yahweh Bashim Shai. You won't really ask the the questions that has you sounding like a scoffer, but kind of not like a scoffer, but kind of sort of is a scoffer, but not against the Lord, but you not really with it either. Like, that's not gonna work for the Lord. You gotta prepare your mind for him. When you fear the Lord, when you honor the Heavenly Father, when you really is afraid of him, like, cause he's a magnificent power, you should be afraid because of what he can do and what he has done. So when you come to the Lord, you gotta prepare. You gotta be ready, and you're gonna humble yourselves in his sight. You're not gonna ask the crazy questions. You're not gonna come in that off weird energy. You're gonna try to make sure that you is as solid and as right as possible. You're gonna humble yourself in his sight. When you come to his men, that's the Lord speaking through his men. So you got to come humble. You know. Let's see. Salakia. This is Sirach chapter 5, verse 7. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath come of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So you must not wait around to turn to the Lord. You must not tarry. To tarry means to wait. Don't procrastinate. Turn to the Lord while he can be found. And don't put it off like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get out there. Yeah, I'm gonna be with y'all guys. I just gotta, you can't put it off. You can't put it off from day to day, because suddenly the wrath of the Lord will come forth. And right when you think you straight, right when you think you good, cool, and smooth, you perish and get destroyed in the day of the Lord's vengeance. So when it comes down to the Lord, you gotta fight for him. This is Sirach 4:28. Strive for the truth and unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So when you strive unto the truth, so like when you strive unto death, when you strive for the truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua unto death, even if it actually means your life, or your life being put in danger, once you strive for that truth, the Lord gonna stand up and fight for you. He gonna come in, and he ain't losing no fights. We men, we'll probably lose. We'll probably get scrubbed up, jammed up real decent. That ain't gonna happen to Yahweh Shai when you strive and fight for him. But when you're all on, when you're in the corner, on the ropes, you're trying to straddle the fence and things like that, you're not gonna be covered. Because, basically that falls into being lukewarm. And the Lord ain't with the lukewarm. It's just like you thirsty. We'll say it's a nice hot day outside. You like, yeah, I would really like a nice cool glass of water. And you find some water and you drink it, and it's warm. Or yeah, it's warm. It ain't as cool as it can be, or it's warm, or it's hot. What you gonna do? You gonna spit that water out. You gonna get rid of it because it doesn't say it's not gonna. It is of no use. But let's continue. Verse 10, of Sirach chapter 5. It says, be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. So you got to be steadfast in your understanding. Just referencing the elder's video that he did about the chariots, and that comment that guy left. You got to be steadfast in what you believe, because when the elder did that video, listening to him for a whole hour, the elder is steadfast in what he believes, and that's what you got to be. You got to be steadfast. You got to be solid, unmovable. Confirmed and affirmed in your understanding, and let your words be the same. Let your words and your actions line up together. And in the video about the chariots, saying Esau trying to bring forth the deception that the elder did. That was a whole video. And then, I guess the guy left a comment, and it's like you know what the Akim around the four corners of the earth stand for. The true men of the Lord. You know what we stand for. You've been in contact, you know, with the men of the Lord, with the brothers, with the Akim. So when it come down to you, you got to be steadfast too. It is what it is on that. You got to be steadfast. And verse 13, because of like what he said, but because of the comment that he left, it says, honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. Cause see, honor and shame is in talk. You can either bring honor to yourself by your words, or you can bring shame unto yourself by your words. And your tongue can cause your demise. It can cause you to get in trouble. It can cause you to be destroyed. You know, it can cause you to get a harsh rebuke. That guy. And in general, when you living according to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and you reading his words, you got to make sure this applies to you as well. But honor and shame is in talk. So you can either make yourself honor or make yourself shameful. or bring shame to yourself, and your tongue could be your fall. It could be your demise. But let's continue. Verse 15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small." So you ought to not be ignorant in any matter. It's best to have a solid foundation and being solid on what you know in any matter, whether it be a big matter or a small matter, or a great matter or a small matter. So, you gotta be serious when it come down to the Lord. Like the brother y'all in his lesson, let your yays be yay and your nays be nay. You know, you gotta be solid. Can't play them games. Them games ain't finna be played with the Lord. As the elder said in the previous video, it's too late in the game. You ain't gonna be able to ride the coattail. You ain't gonna be able to be a bench rider and think you gonna make it in. It don't work. And the truth of the matter is, that guy seems like he's trying to play that angle, and that angle ain't gonna get you nowhere, but led to the hot displeasure of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So you got to be straightforward with the Lord. You can't come playing with him, you know, trying to be manipulative or play mind games. The Lord see through all that, and the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai goes through. Is operating in the Akim around the four corners of the earth, the sincere Akim around the four corners of the earth that's doing the work. So when you come left field, the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gonna let it be known. But let's continue. Let's see. So like if it's pauses, I'm kind of reading and doing a lesson and studying too. But let's continue. Let's see. Sirach chapter 6. Verse. I'm gonna start at verse 18. It says, "My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so thou shalt find wisdom till thine old age." So we're supposed to gather instruction from our youth, man. We're always supposed to be learning, paying attention from our youth. When you come in this truth as a baby, that's you in your youth. And this applies to everyday life. This is wisdom of Yahweh. This is the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So it applies spiritually, for your walk, and it also applies in your everyday life as well. It's beneficial for both. But gather instruction, and you'll find wisdom in your old age. You'll start to gain understanding. You'll start to learn the wisdom. You'll start to see things differently and understand things and be able to move better. Verse 19, my point. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. So when you come unto the Lord, you come unto this wisdom, gaining, you got to be coming to one as that ploweth. When you plow in the land, you plowed, you work in the land, you come unto one that's working. You got to come unto the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Or just come unto the Lord as one that's a worker, that's ready to work. That's what it means by come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth. So you gotta also work and sow, invest, put time in of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and wait for the good fruits. Wait for the increase of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Wait for the increase in understanding. For if you do that, guess what? You ain't gonna toil much. Meaning the Lord is gonna give you the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. If you're laboring, you ain't gonna have many. You ain't have to work. Salaki, I thought I put this on silent. Anyways, you ain't gonna have to work that much before you start reaping the benefits of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, i.e. the wisdom. Before you start gaining understanding of what the word of the Lord is saying. For you to be, you ain't gonna have to toil much. What it means by for thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her. Meaning once you come in and you sincere and you solid for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, after you done been in for a while, the Lord gonna give you, he gonna give you his wisdom. He gonna give it to you. You can go back to James chapter 1. The Lord do not hold back none of his wisdom. If you want it, you ask for it, he'll give it to you liberally. He'll give it to you freely. So, when you toiling in this truth, guess what? You ain't gonna have to labor that much for the Lord start giving you understanding of things. You'll be able to break down scriptures and be able to grasp various concepts of what the Lord says and what he's speaking about. And you'll be able to, it says, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. So eating of her fruits right soon, meaning you're gonna get an increase pretty quick. You ain't finna come in here as a babe and then shoot to the level of an elder, like the elder apostle that have been in this 30 years plus. You ain't or even a brother that's been in this 10 years plus, 4-5 years plus. You ain't finna shoot to their level. You have to increase slowly. The Lord gonna give you what you need at the level that you own, and you're gonna have to operate on that until it's time for an increase. Till he see fit for an increase, and then you'll increase. Because we have those who came in as babes and started an increase, and guess what? What happened? Where they at? Where they at now? They became novices. And a novice, you can't teach them nothing. They proudful, they boastful. They think they know more than somebody that's been in this years longer than them. But let's continue. Verse 23. It says, give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel. So you must give ear to the Lord. You must receive his advice and not refuse his counsel. Not try and play gray areas. Not try and be on the side, or not try and be in the world and for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua at the same time. Not try and believe and doubt at the same time. No, you got to give your ear. You got to refuse not the counsel of the Lord, meaning you can't refuse it. You can't turn a deaf ear. Verse 24 says, and put thy feet into her fetters and thy neck into her chain, meaning lock yourself down with this wisdom, this knowledge, and understanding. Get intertwined. Get bound up by it. Verse 25, bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. So bow down your shoulder. Submit unto the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Submit unto this wisdom. Allow the Lord to increase you in it. Be bound by it. Let it control your actions. Let it control your responses, your thoughts. That's what it means by bow down thy shoulder and bear her. Meaning stand with this wisdom. Sometimes the Lord ain't going to give it to you right away. You might have to toil a little bit before he give it to you. And don't be grieved with the bonds. And a lot of people that come on the comment board, a lot of the times this wisdom is this wisdom is unpleasant to them. Believe it or not. It constricts them. They can't be on the tomfoolery like they want to be. Let's continue though. Verse 26, it says, come unto her with thy whole heart, Salakia, and keep her ways with all that power. So you must come unto wisdom. You must come unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua with your whole heart. Keep his ways with all your power. Follow the laws, the statutes, the commandments to the best of your ability. We're not perfect. We will not keep all 613 commandments perfectly. We are in sinful bodies. This flesh is sinful. It is contrary to the spirit. The spirit can keep all 613 laws perfectly with no problem. But with this flesh we in, it causes us to go off. Causes us to make mistakes and to fall and trip us up. So when you come unto this wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, come unto her, you must come with your whole heart. That's why the Lord refers to wisdom as a woman. You can get caught up in a woman. But the Lord wants you to get caught up in this woman called wisdom. Because she going to keep you out of trouble. Verse 27. It says, search and seek and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go. So once you search and seek for this wisdom, Lord is going to make it known unto you. When you sincere and when you serious and when you not playing weird positions and coming in jacked up energy. You know, when you solid. That's when the Lord will make this wisdom known unto you. And once you've gotten a hold to this wisdom, don't let it go. Keep a hold to it. Don't let it go. Verse 28. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shalt be turned into joy. So right when you need it, you're gonna find the understanding of Yahweh Shemashah. This wisdom is rest. And guess what? And that's gonna be turned into joy. You're gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna be glad you understand and know. It's a good feeling. Verse 29. Then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. So once you start coming into Yahweh Shemashah and you started embracing his wisdom, that wisdom, it go from being fetters upon your feet and the chain upon your neck to being a strong defense. It starts to become a nice, beautiful garment upon you. You start to be clothed with Yahweh, with the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. You start to look good. It starts to show. That's what it means by then shall her fetters be a strong defense. The wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding of Yahweh Shem Shai is going to be a defense for you. But you got to be serious when you come into. And it says, and her chains a robe of glory. It started to become a beautiful garment. And it says, for there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are as purple lace. Come on. Like this wisdom starts to become let's say a debonair or a dapper or a very sharp suit. You start looking good. It turned into the flyest garment that you can think of. You start being able to walk around, as Jake like to say, styling and profiling. You know what I'm saying? People start to see that wisdom on you. Whether they like the glow or not, they start to see it. This wisdom it'll start to become like a nice outfit or a nice garment upon you when you embrace it. But you have to be solid first in order for that to happen. You can't be yeah, but kind of sort of no, but I am, but I'm not. But I just want to know what you think. You can't nah. The Lord is not playing them kind of games. The Lord is not playing them kind of games. The only way you're going to get anything that these scriptures are saying is if you solid for the Lord. You got to be dead ass serious, not playing. Verse 30. Wait. Back to verse 30. There is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are as purple lace. So it's good to be bound in this wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It's a golden ornament. You stay going according to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and doing what you're supposed to do. Eventually, that golden ornament as well. That's a crown. And the bands are as purple lace. It's great. It's good for you. Verse 31. Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor, and shalt put her about thee as a crown of joy. See, you put on this wisdom as a robe of honor. It turns into a beautiful garment. Whatever your imagination can think of, it turns into a beautiful garment. Put this wisdom on as a robe of honor because wisdom does raise you to honor. Matter of fact, I know it's here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, here we go. Sirach chapter 4, verse 11. Wisdom exalteth her children, and layeth hold of them that seek her. So, once this wisdom, you take on this wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, It exalts you. You put it on like a robe of honor and put her about thee as a crown of joy. Meaning, put it on like a nice kingly garb and a crown. But you can only do that as if you can only do that if you're serious for Yahweh Hashem Shai. You can't come playing the tomfoolery. And just to make another remark on that, there has been other comments that particular guy has left, and it was always that like energy, like what you got going on. What are you trying to do? Is you with it or is you not with it? It was just always off energy. It wasn't a solid like, yeah, you really trying. It was always off. But see, when you come in like that, you can't gain none of the benefits and none of the things of the scriptures that I just brought out. You can't gain it. It doesn't work. You start playing, you get verse 20 of chapter of Sirach chapter 6. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned, and he that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. So when you're not serious for the Lord and you come into this wisdom is going to be very unpleasant for you because you're unlearned. And when you're without understanding, you're not going to remain with this. You're not going to stick with it. This wisdom is going to lay upon you like a mighty stone of trial. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be burdensome. It's going to start to hurt. And eventually you're going to throw it off. And if you're moving in the whack energy, verses 21, it's like you're 20 and 21, and that applies to you, you ain't finna get no other verses under this. You ain't finna 23, 24, you ain't nothing. It ain't gonna happen. You have to be solid for the Lord in order to be able to, for the fetters of this wisdom to be strong, a strong defense for you, and the chains becoming a robe of glory. Having that golden ornament, that great garment, that kingly garment, that beautiful garment that wisdom will bestow upon you. That crown of joy, that robe of honor. If you coming wrong, you ain't gonna experience none of that. You ain't finna get it. Verse 32. It says, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. So if you will, you will be taught. If you really truly believe, you will be taught and you will learn. If you apply your mind, you will become wise. You'll become prudent, subtle, being able to know. Verse 33. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow down thine ear, thou shalt be wise. So if you love to hear this truth and you sincere about this truth and you love to hear it, and you're going to receive the understanding of what is being spoken unto you and what is being taught to you. And if you bow your ear, you will become wise. But if you want to play the game, whatever that is, it's not going to happen for you. Let's see. This is Sirach chapter 7, verse 29. Fear the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, with all thy soul, and reverence his priests. So when you fear the Lord, you must fear the Lord with all your soul, and reverence, respect, honor his priests, his men that he set up to bring this wisdom and this knowledge, this understanding, this truth, and this word to you. You must respect the men of the Lord. See, folk come on these comment boards and they don't come correct. They come disrespectful. And what happens? You come hard, Lord put the spirit on whichever brother that is, to come at you whatever way that the Lord put it on him to come at you. So like the men of the Lord that do this work, We're not just some niggas that you could just come up, yo, what's up, bro? What's happening? Nah, we not, cause we not addressing you that way. But see, Jake has a problem with being disrespectful, and then trying to twist it and turn it and make it seem like it's not. But the truth of the matter is, when you look at the root cause or the root of it, I should say, it's disrespectful. That's why you must fear the Lord with all your soul and respect or give reverence, honor his priests, because those men have been set up by the Heavenly Father and his Son. See, the true men of the Lord have not been set up by men to do this work. Only Yahweh Shai can bestow this work upon a man. Only Yahweh Shai can quicken the spirit of a man to get this knowledge, to get this wisdom, to get this understanding. No man outside of that can do that. Now, us as men in this truth, we can say something to you about the truth, but ultimately it still goes down to the Heavenly Father. One man planteth, another man watereth, but when it comes to the increase, when it comes to the being made alive spiritually or quickened, that's all up to Yahweh Shai. So yeah, uh, that's gonna be it, for that. But again, just to reiterate, when it comes down to the Lord, you got to be solid. You can't come playing, because the Lord ain't playing with nobody. Shalom.